This is Gregory K, and you're listening and watching the podcast for Chicago at its finest, podcast for the masses. All right. So thank you for joining me today. My guest and co-anchor for this episode is Miss Isabel Izzy. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, guys. My name is Isabel, or Izzy, whatever floats your boat.
Thank you very much. That was fantastic. I love that. Today, we're going to be breaching the topics of true crime in Chicago for Chicago at its finest today. And really what that means is that we're tackling just a few segments of time that happened within our lovely city that really kind of threw us off our paths and kind of disorientated us as we grew up through these times of living in the metropolitan area of Chicago. And with that said, we're going to be talking about mainly the BachelorGroveCemetery hauntings down in Midlothian Turnpike and Oak Forest. Have you been to Oak Forest before?
I have been to Oak Forest. I feel like I've been through every suburb.
Chicago, yeah. How do you hit every suburb one turn? Do you ever do that?
Honestly, probably. Chicago has like one of the biggest metro areas in the nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the highway system. I mean, it's either being repaired, it's either been reconstructed, or it's been rebuilt. I don't even know how to get around these days. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? The highway system, ever since I was born, probably before I was born, it's being redone every millisecond of the day. It's never going to be done.
I know. Can you find someone else to do the work? Is what I'm asking. Like, is there like a set of construction workers that are really on the street team are like, that's right, we're getting our Social Security, we're getting our pensions, however we're paid at the end of the day, we're getting our paychecks, and we're just gonna build the road. That's all I'm asking is you just finish the street so we can get on through. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just so tired of the potholes. Our taxes do not go to the potholes.
I don't think the potholes are tired of us, to be honest with you. I think they just want to pop up. They're like groundhogs.
They're happy to be there.
I know. It's like, it doesn't matter if it's winter, spring, summer, or fall. They abruptly just jump out at you.
They persevere through the negative 100-degree winter every winter.
Have you ever popped a tire on a pothole at all?
You know what? I will never forget this. I think it was back in 2017 or 2018. There was a negative 55-degree wind chill. Negative 55 degrees Fahrenheit, guys, not Celsius. Ooh. That is insanity. So the wind chill, literally, I woke up the next day, 3 out of 4 of my tires were popped.
No.
From the cold air. And we didn't have school. I was happy about not having school. But my tires, that hurt.
Yeah, go to Discount Tire, I guess, after that. You know what I'm saying? Get like 5 pairs.
I had PTSD. I was like, let me get 6 tires. Not 4, 6.
This is when you go to the dealership and get a Jeep.
Oh my God. Just so brutal, so crazy.
All right, so away from the highway system here, but what we really want to mention is that the cemetery itself is just really old. And that's one of the key components we have for this discussion today is that it's a really old cemetery. It started from the 1836 to 1844 was when the first burial plot was determined. So, I mean, thinking to myself here, I mean, my grandparents aren't that old, so their grandparents probably aren't that old. I mean, somewhere down the line, I got like 3 greats in my name.
Yeah, my grandparents are actually pretty young too. I think my grandma's 63 right now, and I'm 25 for reference. So that's actually like not that long ago.
Well, lucky for whoever was living in Chicago, it was actually a race. It was kind of a rat race, some of it in a way, because they wanted to start a major city because people were growing all across the nation, you know, through whatever kind of economic turns there were. However, there was a population rise. So the population increased into Chicago from 3,800 to 4,000 within a matter of how many years it was built. So
it's a lot of people.
I mean, you know how many people are in the city now. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, millions. I think it's just over 2 million in the city.
Yeah.
I think.
That's crazy.
Could be wrong.
I mean, think about all the people out at one time, like at a park. The street, that's insane.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that all happening at one time.
A lot of people.
You know, there was an economic crash in the world, in our nation. I think that really reflected on the people who were like working through those times, who had like really blue collar jobs, however you want to define that. You know, people who went to construction or building out of the riverbeds and trying to build like buildings and skyscrapers alone were like just skyrocketing, no pun intended, all across the world. I mean, building up was one of the main things to decide to do instead of building down.
Yeah, actually, my great-great-grandpa helped build the Sears Tower, by the way. I think it might have been great-great-great, but one of my greats.
He's great.
He's great. He helped build it.
I love that guy. He's great.
Me too.
So, also, like I just said, the Illinois-Michigan Canal was being built, so that really helped as far as how we navigate ourselves on the river. I mean, I live right now right on the edge of the river between the conversion between going west and then going further north, right on the Chicago River.
Oh, yeah, you're right there.
Yeah. So, like, that for me is like a big thing to think about because I see it every day and sort of take advantage of it because I'm just like, oh, whatever. It's probably dead bodies in there, logs, crap, condoms, what doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah. Definitely dead bodies. There's like some Chicago murderer that's been around since like the 80s or 90s or something like that. Yeah. And there's just been so many bodies recovered in Chicago, and I haven't even gotten into that, but I've seen that on the news.
Yeah.
So
You gotta watch out. Those serial killers, I mean, they just don't have any clue what's going on. I mean, let's just take a little tangent. What do you think actually drives a serial killer to decide that he wants to quit his day job, not get a real job, and then just become a serial killer? It just seems like off-putting. Like you good at job applications, like what race are you? You pick white, Hispanic, Black, Native American, all that. Yeah, what gender are you, male, female? And then what do you want to do when you don't get the job? Oh, become a serial killer.
Honestly, I feel like those people seem like normal people. Like, I'm not gonna lie, we do live in one of the biggest cities in America. You probably walk past a serial killer like at least once a week. There's probably a statistic out there.
True. It probably you gotta think it's gotta be like 1 in 5 has had suicidal thoughts and homicidal thoughts toward themselves or someone else. And you gotta watch out for yourself and that person. It's not even a joke.
Yeah. I can understand, and this is no hate to New York because I lived in New York before too. I'm a Chicagoan. I did live in Brooklyn for some time. Brooklyn. But literally, I don't understand. Like, how could you get stressed about being in Chicago? Maybe they're like, oh, I lost my job. I'm going to crash and just kill everybody now. Like,
no.
I can understand if you're like living in Manhattan, and it's like a mess. But Chicago, I feel like it's still a big city with that fast rush. We are a northern city in America. So you're still going to get that fast paced life.
Yeah.
But I feel like with Chicago, you can choose to extract yourself and have a chill life here. I mean, it's not as crazy. I mean, New York is just crazy.
Yeah.
I get it in New York,
in New York,
LA. But
in New York,
Chicago,
you're like buried on top of each other.
Yeah,
in New York.
right.
It's so close.
It's like sardines.
Everyone's garbage can is on your foot when you throw it to the curb.
First of all, there's no alleys in New York. Again, love New York, woohoo. But I mean, I do love how Chicago, we actually have street cleaners. And, I do feel like although there is homelessness in every city, I feel like Chicago, you don't see a bunch of that all over the place. Unlike LA, LA was crazy.
Oh, man.
LA blew me away. And then in New York too. But yeah, I do love Chicago. But the serial killers, I bet if we ran a test right now, guys, there's like less serial killers in Chicago than there is New York and LA.
Yeah, I mean, if they're eating right, they're waking up on time, if they're exercising and they're going to work, I feel like they're all doing the right thing. So they don't have to be here. But I mean, it's funny how you brought that up because I feel like there's probably just a lot of uncertainty still around the area. I mean, talk about politics all day if you want to, but there's a lot of uncertainty around the world, and it's hard to get a grasp and like hold on to like this is what you're gonna go for. Because like sometimes I wake up like I feel like shit, and then I go outside, I go fishing, I walk the block, I go to a restaurant, I go to a diner, I'm like, I feel fucking good.
Right, like you go outside, you're in a nice city, life is worth living.
Yeah.
The sun's out.
Yeah.
As soon as the sun comes out, life is worth living again.
Hell yeah. Speaking of that, politics, let's go back to that. William B. Ogden was mayor in 1837. Ogden. You know how Ogden is.
Oh, Ogden Avenue.
Yeah, Ogden Avenue.
That slanted street that goes all the way around.
And every street that connects to it goes through it. You have a hard time crossing that. Got the in between. You can't go. You can walk across, but you probably die. Is my thing. Then later on, last of the fun facts, we have public ground was broken for Grant Park. You know how big Grant Park is now for festivals, for sightseeing, tourism. We got the Bean Cloud Gate over there from Millennium Park. Now we have the pavilion, Pritzker Pavilion down all the way. And the place is developing. I mean, right now, where I live, they're making that Bally's Casino.
Yeah.
That's going to be huge. I know people had a lot of concerning thoughts about how the Medina Temple was, and I don't know how well it did in the first year. Maybe there was a little generation there, but not much. But I have a feeling with all this hotel, retail space, and residential space they're building over there and park space eventually, like it's going to be a thriving part. And like my property taxes are fucking going to skyrocket.
Yeah. I feel like Chicago's only getting better. Our history is so rich. I do love the architecture of our city, but aren't they also building something on the Sears Tower? Aren't they building like a balcony or something on there? I
would never want to step outside the fucking window
of
on the Willis Tower. I would. Why would you? You know when you go to the Hancock Tower and they have that sky view where you can like lean up around it like you're on a roller coaster. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Speaking of the Hancock building, I don't know if you've ever been to the Signature Room on the Signature
is that a bar?
Room. No, it's like a beautiful restaurant that they closed down recently in Chicago, and it was open for years.
Serial killer?
Probably. Probably ran by a serial killer. He got caught and they shut him down. But yeah, no, our history is amazing. And I was just saying, like, I feel like we're constantly building things in Chicago and it's only going to get better.
I know. I feel the same way. I love this city. I've been down here, at least by my own, for like 6 years. I've been living with family before that for a number of years. And I've always, in between being a youngster, growing up into my teens and from adolescence into young adulthood, always gone to Chicago, ball games, museums, field trips, zoos, and all that stuff, and gone down the rest. I mean, I love Chicago for that. It's like an eating city.
Oh, it
I love
is.
going out. I mean, I got in my like 10-block radius, I got my restaurants. You know what I'm saying? I got the Italian, I got the Mexican, I got the hamburger, I got the hot dog. So I'm like, I'm good.
I will say Chicago food is extremely good, not being biased, but seriously, it is. I've tried, I'm a foodie, okay?
Oh,
I've
yeah.
had food all over the US, even like
New
abroad.
Mexico?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
nice.
I mean, Chicago food is fire. We have fire Mexican food. We have true Italian Americans here,
Oh, my
Italian
God.
Chicagoans here, for
I
sure.
love the Italians.
Yeah.
I wish I could make pasta like an Italian, like a real authentic Italian pasta.
Oh man, I'm trying to
I
think.
just made lasagna the other day I had my parents over to my house and I made them lasagna. And it was like from scratch. I made my lasagna noodles from scratch. I made the sauce from scratch. To my acceptance, it went really well. I don't know if I could, I mean, I don't know if I want to serve it to a dish on a person. There was a few key things that I would point out that I might have done differently, but it was not undercooked. The meat sauce was fantastic. And half of it was zucchini vegetarian, how you want to say it. And it was warm out throughout. So I was very pleased.
Wow, I love Italian food, guys.
Italians.
Literally, I
I see
studied
an Italian
abroad.
man in your future.
Yeah, no, I studied abroad in Italy and I fell in love. So I
you go.
kind of know a little bit of Italian, but it definitely helps. Sometimes I sneak away to Italy in Chicago.
Oh, Italy, yeah.
Italy, yeah, just to like practice Italian with the workers, and they're like, "Get out of here!" No, that's New York. Get out of my face.
Get out of here. Forget about it.
Forget about it. Take out the garbage.
Yeah. Well, back to what we were saying. So, Old Forest and Midlothian, where the cemetery is located, is about 30 minutes off the turnpike down southwest, Chicago. So you're hitting everything between Tinley Park, Orland Park, Palos Park, and Alsip. You ever been to any of those
Alsip.
places?
Yes, I have. I think I've driven through Alsip. I haven't really gone in there, but I have heard of it.
You know what's weird about like the outskirts of Chicago? Like that fine dining we talked about? Like there's a lot of good spots outside, like 20 minutes outside of Chicago you find.
Oh yeah, Oakbrook
Oh,
has really good restaurants. Tinley Park, fire restaurants. Guys, Bridgeview, literally, I've had the most amazing Turkish food in Bridgeview.
wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of Arabic. Like literally, it's like everything's in Arabic there in
Oh,
Bridgeview.
nice. I
Yeah,
wish I could speak that.
it's really good.
Save
Salam
peace.
alaikum.
Yeah, say peace for the unity. Here we go. So I mean, you're taking like 90-94 east to get down there, so it's really a short trip. I mean, if you took a cab down to Bachelor Grove Cemetery, you'd really be paying like $50 plus tip, which I almost did one time. But like, when I was doing research for this, I emailed the research society down there. I'm like, hey, can I like come and videotape? Because in the early days when people were going down to document these hauntings that we're gonna talk about, like they would go down to their cameras and video cameras and they would record all this.
Did you find orbs?
I don't know if I didn't find any orbs. I wanted to find orbs. I was ready to go down with a pack of cigarettes, a case of beer, and ready to go. That's what I was going to do. But, I don't know. Haunting to me, do you believe in anything that's haunted? Are you superstitious, spiritual, religious at all?
Okay, I'm definitely superstitious. Like splitting the pole. I hate that. If my friend goes to the right, I also have to go to the right. If they go to the left, I go to the left. If we split the pole, I blame them, and I feel like bad luck will come upon them or me. I don't know. I don't know.
Don't follow you in a parking garage then? Is that
Oh,
what you're saying?
I mean, I guess, I don't know. I feel like I do believe in the spiritual world. I do think that there is something out there, but I just don't know what. I personally have never had any like hauntings or horror stories happen to me, but I wouldn't be surprised if I was in a cemetery and there were like orbs, these balls of orbs following me around.
So, like, one of the main hauntings that you can find in the documentation from like the research society that went down there and like people's public perception. So they found like in their photos or in their witness statements that they found glowing orbs. So like I'm first of all when I see glowing, I'm like orb. What's an orb? Like what is it? Orb is like the labyrinth, like a dark crystal. Like what kind of orb are we talking about?
A floating ball. It's kind of
What kind of balls? Basketballs? I think someone just had something in their eye because they woke up. Their mom made them go to the cemetery to pray to their grandparents.
They saw stars when they were rubbing their eyes.
They had the eye booger in their eye, and they're just like sitting there like, I can't see anything. So they saw an orb, and they put it on paper. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, probably.
So again, in the mid 1800s to the late 1800s, this is when all these occurrences started to begin. That's when the cemetery really began plotting dead bodies. And in doing so, it was a lot of people who were residing in that area at that time from the city of Chicago who were probably migrating back and forth or were just still there or being brought there. And they're mostly German, Irish, and English. And
Interesting.
to me, that just sounds like a party.
Literally.
The German, Irish, and English are all in one place. We're getting drunk.
A drinking party.
There's a keg, there's pretzels, there's schnitzel, and there's all kind of stuff there. I'm down.
Yep. Does sound like a drinking party.
A few names that we could throw out there as far as like who they think have been haunting these places. And mostly, I gotta say, they're women. Do you feel that empowering because they're all women that are haunting the cemetery? I feel maybe they got a leg up on us.
I guess I do feel empowered because I love to haunt people in real life.
I don't want to know you after this episode. So
I'll haunt you. You have no choice.
Okay, exactly. So Eliza Scott was supposedly the first burial in that vicinity of that cemetery. And there's like a pond there. There's like a big tree. And like when you see photos from the Research Society, it's like, it doesn't look very vast. Like, you know, when you pass some cemeteries on the highway, like they're like, you know, you could pass two of them like in 2 minutes. This one by photo just looks like it's like, I mean, I'd be pissed if my grandma was up there that we cheaped out. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Was it like 2 headstones and that's
like,
it?
Someone was kicked over like a rock. It was just like a rock.
Oh
there.
no, that's very sad.
No, but it's weird how you can identify what you see is rather true or not, because it's all about testimony. You could be the most upstanding person, go to work every day, treat your wife and our husband with most respect, and your kids, and pay your taxes. But you could witness something so weird and heinous sometimes and so abstract that when you bring it to someone else's attention, they're like, nah, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
And then that's what the problem causes. Then you become the boy who cried wolf.
Right.
Because you go down like the tunnel looking for the dragon, right? You're like, I got to find out why this is telling me this is true when everybody knows it's not true. It's like because you saw it and you have no other proof to do it. And they didn't have any proof back then.
Right. I was going to say, especially back then. I mean, there was no way. It was literally just like play by ear and word of mouth. That was it. There was literally no like evidence, and they didn't know how to do those things back then.
They were doing sketches out there like with a pencil, like, hold on, wait.
Like, this is what this person looked like. This is what dinosaurs look like.
Black
this is
hair.
What this was. Like, how did they know?
I know. I feel bad for them because I bet a lot of people went insane. I mean, I feel like a lot of people like had a lot of mental issues with the fact that nobody believed them. That they either visited a haunted cemetery or witnessed something haunted in a cemetery, or even had someone in a cemetery they know that might be haunted. So for me, that's just like, it's like a knock on wood, I guess. You don't want to be that person.
You know, that reminds me. I mean, the whole reason we say bless you is because back in the day, they thought they were like possessed, or that they were like possessed witches. So that's why when we sneeze, we say bless you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I say it, and I'm not religious. I guess I'm a hypocrite or contradictory because I don't believe in religion, but I say bless you to everybody.
I feel like that's just the societal norm.
I bless my love to them to cover their snout when I sneeze. Yeah. That's what I do.
There's some people who don't even cover themselves when they sneeze. So,
oh my God.
That's really
the hand coughers.
Oh my God.
People who sneeze and like right on your shirt. Oh, sorry. I mean, when you're in the elevated train system, the L train, right? And someone's coughing in their hand and they're grabbing the fucking chair or the rail, you're like, oh God.
You know, I love how Chicago is such a transitable city, like New York. Unlike other cities in America, you don't really need a car to live here. But I will say, be smart and do not be grabbing onto the rails and then like touching your face and blowing your nose on the train, sneezing. Use your arm, please, guys.
Yeah.
We don't want to go through another plague.
My father always taught me, like, when you sneeze in the crook of your arm. It's the last place someone's going to touch you and where you're going to touch yourself. And then when you cough in the same crook. It's the same place.
Yeah, I don't know. Some countries vary because I've traveled around and I have literally witnessed some countries of people. They just like, their hand is just a multifunctional, thing. They just sneeze in their hands and cough in their hands. I'm like, okay.
Ew, I don't want. And then they shake it. Have you had to shake someone's hand?
Yeah.
You don't want to feel awkward, but like, no.
I feel like in Cat in the Hat when he like puts the hand sanitizer on himself all the time. That's who I feel like.
It's so. I don't know how it escapes you that you don't know how to handle your hygiene for like that. For the one of the things that actually matters the most. Not about like blowing your nose, but like coughing and sneezing, not in your hand, and then touching stuff. I don't know how they were raised, but I was raised a little bit better than that.
Yeah, you know what? That reminds me. I feel like tying this back into Chicago history. This city to me is a very chic city. Oh, yeah. Not even to be like a girly girl or whatever, but I do think that, different cities have different auras. Like Miami is very much like Lambo, loud music, windows down. I mean, there's palm trees everywhere, whatever. But I feel like Chicago is like about their business. Like we're very much about business.
We're the city that works.
Yeah. No, we are hustlers. Like living in LA, it's very slow paced. I do like that. The weather's nice, whatever. The downtown isn't as big. Obviously, I feel like the metro of LA is pretty decent, but I feel like Chicago and the metro, everyone is hustling.
Yeah.
Similar to New York. Yeah. We're hustlers.
We're trying to picking up that cash where it goes, right?
Right.
We need to get that money. I mean, here it comes across to the cemetery again, right back to this. Well, so more names that are thrown out there are like Luella Fulton Rogers. And her name is significant because it was concluded that she was done in a hit and run accident. But like her ghost was guarding another grave of another woman's child. And so like when people went there, they would see some girl with some baby, but they would know how to capture it because it was so old. They didn't have anything to capture by. So I'm like, that's where you get the pen and pencil. You're like, okay, stand right there, smile.
Right.
Hold the baby like this, hold the baby like that.
Running around crying, well, if I saw this.
I mean, my thing about cemeteries, if you're like a stoner in high school, it's like a cool place to go. You listen to your Metallica, your death metal, you light candles, you smoke cigarettes and smoke weed, maybe you drop acid or whatever. Or you get
Maybe
drunk.
for you. I wouldn't just go hang out in a cemetery. What the heck?
Yeah, that's what teenagers used to do. They used to go to cemeteries and kick over headstones and drink beer, like throw their cans on the ground, but like, yeah, fuck this, yeah, whatever. And like those vandals just really just like depreciate the property. I mean, you can find it anywhere. Graffiti's everywhere in this city, man. I mean, like,
Oh yeah, graffiti for sure. See, I wouldn't risk going into a cemetery and like a spirit haunting.
I wouldn't either. I take your advice. I don't want to go there. I mean, if you say something fucked up is going to be there and I want to be there, I'm like, well, do I have to bring a gun or a knife or what am I going to have to do?
I mean, if I were a ghost in a cemetery and some kids came meddling around me, I would be haunting them. I would haunt them right away.
That'll be the instigation to haunt. I think that's initial haunt. Like, oh, we got them. They're pulling the Ghostbuster alarm at the firehouse. Like, dan it, and
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, we got them. We got 5 kids there on the tombstone. We're gonna get their ass.
They're asking for it.
Yeah, I feel sure. I feel like the same way. And secondly, what I was saying about the kids kicking on. I mean, there's also people who go there who do like satanic worship. I mean, Satan. I mean, Satan's a big thing. Like, it's like underground religion shit.
Yeah, that's something that I'm very afraid to get into.
It's not something that everyone should get into. Honestly, I'll give you some background info. I did research on a satanic church, and I was gonna see if I could just poke around a little bit, get some info. They're very strict. They have a very strict code of conduct, and like they're not lenient about how they allow people to talk about them, let them represent them. And you think it's just a bunch of guys who listen to heavy metal and chicks with piercings all the time with tattoos. No, it's people who literally just want to abide by the rules and laws of another god that allows them to reject everything else in life that says that this is the perfect one for you. In small amount of terms, yeah.
That reminds me of a cult.
Yeah, a cult is exactly what that is.
Yeah.
It's for sure a cult. And these people go there, and the cemetery for occultists is like one of the main places to go. You find dead bodies, you can dig them up. People who are necrophiliacs, you know what necrophilia is?
Explain.
Necrophiliac is with people who have sex with dead bodies before they decompose.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a
Okay.
psychological term. Yeah. People who do that. I mean, people who want to dig up grave robbers, I can understand. People who are buried with cash, jewelry, some kind of gold,
Yeah.
silver. I get that. That's a robber. That's just that's a motherfucker being a thief.
That seems normal.
Someone just being a thief. They're like, I heard this guy came down over 25 grand, put him with his dead daddy, and now he's gone. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going on it too. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like the same people who do nasty stuff with dead bodies are also serial killers.
It leads up into that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The psychology of it is that people are just nuts. So
Yeah.
they have no control. They have no perception of what reality is. They don't know how to focus on what actually is in front of them. Everything they do is in their mind. They can't control when they have different points in their head to think about. They're scattered, and when they put it all together, when they collect it all, it's just like the picture's all distorted.
You know, I've heard that people who work graveyard shifts make a lot of money.
Yeah, like the hospital and stuff.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean, like, even like working in a cemetery and like,
Yeah.
they just make a lot of money for that because it's crazy. I mean, they see things and I don't know. I did a deep dive on TikTok one time. It was like, tell me a job where you didn't have to go to school and you make a lot of money. And someone was like graveyard night shift. I was like, what? So I went down this rabbit hole and I was so spooked. I guess there's people who, you know, they work in the graveyard at night and then they make bank like at least 40 an hour, 50 an hour sometimes. And they're just like cleaning up the graveyard at night. That's crazy. I would not want to do that. I feel like I'd get haunted.
Cemetery custodians. You know who else makes a lot of money if you think about it? Cemetery landscapers, because there's so much grassland you have to mow. I bet they get paid by the acre. I bet you get like a salary, but like if there's any compensation after that, compensation or anything else committed to what you do, I bet it's by acre because there's so much. Like if you go to a mass cemetery, that's a lot of grass.
Yeah.
And people expect it to be cut so they can worship value the dead ones. And if it's not cut, people are gonna be pissed.
I guess that could be a lucrative career in Chicago because there are a lot of cemeteries in Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, I picked this one because it was most notorious for the hauntings. I feel like this is a good one to dissect because significantly, when you think about burying your dead, I think for a lot of people, they don't necessarily think past that point. They're not thinking, oh, grandma, it's time to go. You got to go. Casket closed. Not a lot of them are taken away, like, especially children. I don't think a lot of children are like, oh, my grandma. I think after like 2 weeks, they're like, okay, and let's go play. Whereas adults, some might have a hard time grasping on, but they'll eventually forget. And that's what the problem is. Everybody in the cemetery is forgotten. They rest there, but they're forgotten. That's why the souls are still haunting these places because people need to find closure. And they don't have the closure because people didn't do them the right way. They didn't bury them the right way. People who tipped over tombstones and awakened them the wrong way. I mean, that's what they're haunting them for.
That makes so much sense. There's also tombstones that have like paragraphs on them.
Yeah.
You know, where like it really explains them. Yeah.
I mean, you got to pay. I mean, think about if your relative was buried in a mausoleum. You know those big buildings in a cemetery?
Yeah.
With the doors and everything?
Yep.
Those are badass. But like, that's a lot of money. I mean, if for a tombstone, maybe, I want to shout out there, maybe like 10 grand.
I feel like that's minimum. Yeah. Probably 10 grand minimum.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And if it be that special to someone that you got the mausoleum, the one mausoleum in the cemetery, everyone's pissed off and they're like, we're going to fuck with this guy's family every time he comes here.
You know what? I feel like if you're buried in a mausoleum, you better not haunt anybody because you have it lavish.
I know.
You have your own little house.
Did you put like a drinking fountain, like a bathroom in there? It's like a little prison.
Right. Well, yeah.
Well, that respects to the fact that one of the other main sightings they've had at this cemetery was some woman, besides the person with the baby, she was just sitting on tombstones, like waiting for her time to pass. Her name was the Madonna of Bachelor's Grove.
Oh.
The Madonna. She was dressed in white, like, you know, like a virgin, you know, like that. She was just waiting for her time, like her boyfriend was going to come. I don't know what the deal is, but she was just sitting there waiting on the tombstone, and it would flash between maybe like 3 or 4 different tombstones. And the testimony says that she just sits there, like swings her legs, and
she probably knows that in another life she's a celebrity, so she needs to like show off.
Oh yeah,
she needs to show off as much as she can because she knows she's that girl.
Especially when she's like 70. So, yeah. So by the 90s, this place like had already been like knocked over. Like people just kept going there. And it wasn't until like later past that point where they started closing it off because they wanted to do their own research. They wanted to leave it for people who actually had buried ones there and people who visited there and so on, so it could continue on to the afterlife. So the Ghost Research Society discovered a lot of these things on their own. Like there's a research society that, like, you know, like in Discovery Channel when they go out and they have the head cameras and they're like, and shaking the doors and whatever. Like they went down there and they saw the glowing orbs.
Oh, wow.
The orbs.
Yeah, I totally would have believed that when I was a little girl. You know that show? I forgot. I think it was like Discovery. It was like the fake mermaids, like how they find mermaids. I totally believed that up until I was like,
it's a suit. It's a costume.
That's crazy.
It's a swimsuit. Yeah, but back to those glowing orbs, I just can't imagine. So they say the glowing orb would start from a distance. It would start from a distance, and then as soon as you draw yourself near to the glowing orb, it would come forward to you. One person claimed they touched it and said it was cold. Not slimy, but just cold. And it just, bam, done. But disappeared. I don't know how, if your friend told you that, if your girlfriend was like, yo, I went to my grandfather's grave and like, we were like saying goodbye or whatever, and like she was crying, like, would you believe what she said?
I'd say she's full of it.
That's weird.
That's BS.
That's a bunch of shit. A glowing orb. Like, everybody gotta make that up. Any spot on the camera that has too much light that got burned on the film, that's a glowing orb. Everybody knows.
Very interesting.
I don't know if I believe it. I don't know if I want to believe it. I don't know if I can believe it, but it sure as hell is documented, and they have it.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, again, I feel like it depends for me. I'm not going to be mean and be like, oh, I just won't believe you. Like, you're full of it. I mean, 90% of me will think that, but the 10% will think that. I do think that some people actually do go through some paranormal activity experiences. I mean, I actually started believing a little bit when I watched Amityville.
Amityville Horror?
Yeah.
The
I was like,
original or remake?
Crap. All of it.
All of it? Oh, shit.
I literally went on a deep dive. I watched all of it, and I was like, wow, this is actually really
Yeah, the guy that killed his kids and all that in the house?
Yeah, like...
Psycho.
Yeah, super.
Psycho.
Serial killer, and don't let him see a dead body.
Would you date a serial killer if you didn't know he was a serial killer?
What?
If you
honestly,
if you found a guy and was like, oh, he's kind of cool, whatever, and went out to eat, but then you're like, shit, all his mannerisms, because I saw on whatever History Channel, you're like, wait a second, they're saying this guy like does all this stuff, and my boyfriend, like love interest, does the same thing. Would you continue on to see what happens, or would you break it off?
Oh, I'd break it off. I feel like women, we have intuition. Okay, I'm not about to be super superstitious, but it's just so true. Like, we have feelings about people that we just can't describe. It's like a gut feeling. And unfortunately, in today's day and age, and I just don't believe in dating apps. I'm glad that it works for
Oh
others.
God.
But I feel like I would be so afraid to use a dating app because someone can pose as someone they're not.
Oh yeah, I got a
And
story about that.
yeah, they can just go on a date with you and then they're not the person that they said that they were, or they like change their name and they're really like an undercover felon or something like that.
Or it's a complete reverse of gender. I mean, like, can you imagine going on a dating app and you're like, oh, it's Jacob. He's like, he benches 275. He wears Armani suits. He works at the city hall. And now you find out it's like some guy, he's like, he picks his nose. He wears fucking Kiss t-shirts and he's like an overweight. You know what I'm saying? Like, that guy needs a lot more love than Jacob does, but you need more love because he just fucked you over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've actually had a few people on Instagram send me a fake profile of me. So someone took my pictures.
Ew.
Yeah, someone took, I don't know if it was a guy or a girl. I don't know what in the world, whatever it was. Maybe it was an orb. I don't know. Literally.
This is the orb.
It was the orb. They literally took my pictures and they made an account. And someone was like, oh, is this you? And I'm like, of course that's not me. Like,
No.
what the heck? And yeah, all the info was wrong. It was just my pictures. And it was a whole different name too. But literally my face, the same pictures that were from my Instagram were on there. And I was like, oh my God. So obviously I reported it. It got taken down. That is really scary.
Yeah.
You never know.
I mean, we're guided and blocked by the Bill of Rights, right? So we have all those amendments to ourselves, but that means that people can do a lot of nasty shit until they get caught. You know, like to
Yeah.
cover their appearances and fake profiles and catfishing and all that. I've had my extension in the dating apps, and I never had like that bad of an issue. But I can tell you, but looking at some of the profiles that are on there, like fake. Like people are just literally drowning themselves in fake profiles so they can catch the bait.
Yeah,
And that's like a single girl, a single guy doesn't know what they're doing.
that's crazy. You know, I wonder how they catfished back in the days. Like, how in the 1900s did they catfish?
They rode a horse to the mailbox and they dropped up a letter and they hit a Polaroid and they dropped it off and then they rode all the way back like 50 miles back and they wait till whatever. Then they came back like 3 weeks later to get the other photo and then she put one in it like, I know it's you.
They emailed. Oh wait, no, that was before email. Okay, they put like a letter in a jar and then put the jar across the pond or across the lake.
It was a message in the bottle. It was a message in the bottle.
Yes. Or, oh no, hold on. They'd get pigeons. You know, my grandma calls pigeons flying rats. She hates pigeons.
There's so many.
But the history of pigeons, they were our messengers.
Oh, that's true.
They were really smart. They helped like save us in World War II.
And now we see them everywhere and we just want to stomp on them. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, if one lands on me, I'm screaming, crying, throwing up.
I can't imagine how many times I've run into a pigeon in some kind of instance where I want to whoop its ass. You know, like I literally start beef with pigeons on the street because I'm going underneath the L train trying to get on the platform. There's pigeons everywhere, like and flapping around. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh my gosh. You know what? In Venice, they actually do, in Venice, Italy, I was there with my grandma, and I guess the guys in the piazza, which is like the town square, they actually try and charge you to let pigeons come on your arms. So these Italian guys who are trying to scam you, they literally will tell you to put your arms out like this, and the pigeons, because they're so used to this, they'll come and sit on your arms, which is super nasty. And then you like take pictures like, oh my God, how cool, woohoo, whoop-de-doo. And then afterwards, the guys come up to you and they're like, okay, where's my money?
They service you. Played.
They tried to do that to me.
Got you.
And I was like, I'm not giving you any money. And one tried to give me a rose as well.
Ooh.
And I gave him the rose back. I was like, I'm smarter than that. Like, take your rose back. I'm not paying you anything.
It's terrible.
You know?
Anybody will try anything they can. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Thankfully in Chicago, I feel like there's not scammers, but there are scammers in other cities too.
Yeah.
I've noticed that. I mean, obviously there's like robberies and stuff in Chicago and vandalism and whatever, but scamming, I don't know.
I can't imagine that you would want to try so hard to get something that's already unavailable to you. It's like, when you're a thief, you see like a piece of artwork in a museum and you want to steal it. You're like, well, how hard do I have to try to get it? You got to think about key codes, key cards, alarm systems. You got to talk about wiring. You got to talk about footsteps. I mean, there's a lot of those, and you're just like, I'll just get a piece of pizza.
You know what? I feel like in Chicago, we have some pretty heavy duty lockdown stuff, but places like the Louvre in Paris, you just climb up a ladder and, take a crown and the Mona Lisa. Did you hear about that? That happened a couple months ago. That's so crazy.
I know, man.
That could never happen in Chicago, I feel like.
What about all the people that used to put like the stickers and stuff on like old paintings that are like worth millions of dollars in the like foreign museums? They put like stupid stickers on it, like says stupid shit, like whatever political institutions they're from and all that. It's like we should just leave it alone, you know, just leave it alone, bud. Go home, go to school, do what you gotta do.
I agree.
Crazy. Well, thank you for touching base with me on this BachelorGroveCemetery. I think we literally eliminated all the possibilities that it's probably not really haunted, because if you take into consideration that it's a bunch of teenagers, it's old as fuck, all testimonials don't have that much backup, let alone physical evidence, and it's now been taken over by someone who actually maintains the property. He doesn't have anything to say but nothing. It's probably just a mind game. I think people are just nervous, scared, jittery. They might still go visit the dead ones there. They might have dead ones they're gonna bury there. But like, for most of, I think people are just mind gaming themselves. It's just all in their head. They see what they want to see. A lot of those orbs that we talk about, I think they're just looking up at the sun as it goes by.
Yeah, I do think a lot of the history is obviously very valid, but I don't think all of the paranormal activity events are true. At least not all of them.
I can't say the same. I mean, I want to, but like some of me, like, because I like horror movies sometimes. And like a little bit means I'm not spiritual. I'm not astronomical. Or astrological, I'm sorry. And I'm not like, you know, I don't have a lot of those things about me, but some of it's like, well, what if, I mean, what if is the natural thing that we always say. What if I became a king and all of a sudden became a king? But like, what if I saw something haunted and boom, I saw it haunted? Now, my only thing is that how do you explain it from that point A to point B and I get away with it?
That's true. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I definitely do think back then it was like you were saying earlier, like the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah.
I definitely think it was just relying on word of mouth and I don't know, really influencing other people. So maybe if someone did see something or they rubbed their eyes too hard and they saw some stars, that did probably get around to the point where, oh, it was orbs. But yeah, there's a lot of lack of evidence there.
It's hard to say because you can't speak for everyone. You can only speak for yourself.
Exactly.
And then like one example I brought you, if someone was coming to you with some problems and they told you about this, would you believe it over the other problems or the problems over what they believe? So
yeah, it's like everyone has a side to the story. So I get that.
Okay. Well, thank you, Izzy, for co-anchoring this episode for me today. Appreciate you for joining Chicago at its finest podcast for the masses, because we're going to be talking about a lot more later on. So appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, of course. Looking forward to it.
Thanks a lot.